every single Warhammer 40k faction explained. Part 1, because, you know, an hour wasn't enough to explain it all.
As someone who doesn't necessarily serve,
this is also so low,
but someone who can appreciate them, you will not be getting my legs today, as I'll be replacing them with various things depending on which faction we are currently talking about to add a little bit more context and possible comedy to whatever the hell I am currently doing. So, hello everybody.
Tell me a YouTuber that became popular and didn't become a pedophile? Brother, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, PewDiePie. That's 3 off the top of my head. The OGs. Dan TDM. Brother, I don't know what you mean.
Everybody, my name is Bricky, and this is going to be
and I'm bricked.
A large project that has been going on for quite some time. This is, I need 2 hands for this. This is every single Warhammer 40k race in kind of a nutshell.
Race?
Explained, a little bit of explanation, a little bit of lore, a little bit of talking about the tabletop, but mostly lore, what they're all about, and also a little bit of background for those of you who just have no clue what Warhammer 40,000 is.
Me!
Warhammer and Warhammer 40,000 is a universe people hear plenty of, but don't know a whole lot about.
Me.
They see, oh, there's these dudes in big power armor with chainsaw swords, and they got these big old green orcs, and there's some bugs.
I like how he's actually changing his legs, by the way, as well.
Everyone calls these guys.
I need to drink some coffee. Hold on.
And then there's these spiky bitches over here, and I don't get it. I don't understand where.
Yeah, and they all look awesome.
Video is particularly for you, or for those of you who have a little bit of knowledge, but you're kind of curious about different races and factions in Warhammer. So
I mean, I watched his lore video, but like I'm still clueless. So I basically had nothing about the game. So
overall, the Warhammer universe is vast when it comes to lore and background, and each different faction is so.
Oh, Space Marines! There they are. The Orcs with the K, yeah. The Grey Knights. Dark Angels. The Necrons. The Dark Eldar. I recognize some of these names. The Space Wolves? That sounds sick.
Different with the things that they believe in, and some are human, some are transhuman, like where they all have these crazy ass electronics.
So cool.
You've got aliens, and you've got the Chaos factions, and there's so much to entail.
Oh yeah, the Chaos, yeah, the ones, those ones.
To tell you what each and every single one of them is about, and what the Warhammer
bye lad, name's up and bye.
Well, to give at least a little bit of an intro to this extremely bloated but very, very enjoyable.
Cool, very cool.
And many others partake in. So I will be explaining every single faction in the Warhammer.
The Tyranids, there they are.
At least all the factions you can play as, and some smaller factions here and there. I will not be discussing absolutely everything in it, because that is a little bit much, and I'm not going to go too mega deep into the lore. I'm going to give you a pretty solid overview of each of the different factions.
Blood Angels.
A little bit about them, and we'll discuss.
Dude, they all sound so cool, by the way. The Necrons, Inquisition, T-Rex. Okay, maybe not the Inquisition. The Eldar, the Orcs, the Space Marines.
Tabletop as well, in case you were curious about that. But for this episode entirely, we are discussing the Imperium of Man, because that takes up a fat chunk of Warhammer lore.
As I'm sure it does.
What is Warhammer 40,000?
It's a hammer for war, and it's 40,000.
Well, the 40,000 starts off is the year 40,000.
Elder are elves? Yeah, we saw that in his lore video.
Is in the year 40,000, 41,000 AD.
Oh.
You're already more knowledgeable. Let me read you a quote, first of many quotes in this video. It is the 41st millennium. For more than 100 years, the Emperor has sat
100 centuries.
on the golden throne of Earth. He is the master of mankind by the will of the gods, and master of 1,000,000 worlds by the might of his inexhaustible armies. He is a rotting carcass, writhing invisibly with power from the dark age of technology. He is the carrion lord of the Imperium, for whom 1,000 souls are sacrificed every day so that he may never truly die. To be a man in such times is to be amongst untold billions. It is to live in cruelest and most bloody regime imaginable. These are the tales of those times. Forget the power of technology and science, for so much has been forgotten, never to be rebirthed.
Dude.
Forget the promise of progress and understanding, for in the grim, dark future, there is only war. There is no peace amongst the stars, only an eternity of carnage and slaughter, and the laughter of thirsting gods. Everything blows.
Cool.
Blows fucking hard.
Yeah.
Warhammer is probably the most dark and depressing universes ever in fiction.
Dude, that was okay. That was a cool quote. I'm not gonna lie. That was awesome.
Top 3. Everything is so absurdly horrible, destructive, or overpowered that it all kind of ends up canceling itself out. It's like
what?
Dota.
It's like Dota.
Across the galaxy.
I've never played Dota. I've only ever played League a little bit.
Interstellar travel is only possible due to sacrificing 1,000 souls a day to a rotting carcass of a man who you believe to be your god. Demonic demons tear open the fabric of reality on a whim. Other
blood for the blood god,
or even other humans,
skull for the skull throne.
Untold billions across the galaxy. It is a time of unending war, slaughter, and a bloodbath amongst everybody. Planets are deemed unrecoverable and are completely destroyed on a whim.
Cool.
Everything sucks. But that's like the charm of it.
Yeah, it is. It's like it's really grim and dark, but that's sort of what makes it cool.
Hammer is evil. But being evil is kind of fun. Like, humanity, in its own right, is a xenophobic, prejudice, and religious zealot group that kill each other just as much
Furniture
as
manufacturer, I have not.
Enemies. And they're like mid to high tier evil on the
what?
Scale of Warhammer. Nobody is good. No matter who you are, everyone is some flavor, some color of evil. Whoever you pick, you are going to be the bad guy. But that's the fun of it. Because being the bad guy is badass. Villains are cool. They look cool. They got cool.
Okay, yeah,
cool
kind of.
They got cool armies. Villains are cool, man. And when everyone.
So no one is the good guy.
Everyone is pretty cool. That's what makes this so charming. Is that everyone can be the bad guy. So let's start off talking about the main bad guy, quote unquote, the Imperium of Man.
Oh, they're the main bad guys.
The Imperium of Man is the main empire.
I love when you can hate. So true.
All of humanity is under this one flag called the Imperium. And about 10,000 years ago, there was a man. He was the Emperor of mankind, a 10-foot-tall psychic demigod who led humanity across the stars.
Okay, yeah. So this is the Emperor of Man. I'm pretty sure, right? He just like appeared one day and he was like super strong. And then he like made 18 sons, but 2 of them, or like he made 20 sons, and then 2 of them were retconned or something.
Tons and tons of worlds, create superhuman soldiers, and really bring humanity into a new age. This man, the Emperor of Mankind, was a psyker. And a psyker is like a magician.
Hello, welcome.
Thanks
for stopping by. I appreciate it. Hello, welcome.
Kind of like hell, but sort of like a purgatory dimension of hell. And a psyker is someone who can take that power and manifest.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We learned about this. Yeah.
Like witchcraft.
It's cool.
Magician stuff, spells, and lots of other things, but we don't want to get too into that. The Emperor.
Yeah, we've seen that before.
Top tier.
Top tier.
Maybe even S.
Is that Womp Womp?
Now, the
Is that her? It's Womp.
Sons. Yes, created a bunch of sons known as the
Created.
Primarchs. He created 20.
But 2 are
18 Primarchs to have them lead all of the different legions of humanity to the different stars and planets to help call.
Wasn't there this one of wasn't one of them like didn't one of them go crazy and like try to do bad stuff? Also, why does this look like Dr. Doom?
And bring it out. These Primarchs.
The guy on the top right looked like Dr. Doom.
Not all of them are psychers, but a lot of them are very, very powerful, and they lead special Space Marine legions. Then this
Oh, not all of them are psychers? I thought all of them could use magic.
clusterfuck happened called the Horus Heresy, where the Emperor's favorite son, the Primarch, Horus, ended up joining Chaos and leading 9 other... Well,
Yeah, that's him.
9 of the 18, half of his Primarchs directly to Earth to fight down the Emperor himself. Now, if you want to know what Chaos is...
Primarch Angron is best boy. Angron? There's best boys here? Which one is the twink? I want the twink.
Imperium, the hellish place. In there relies the 4 chaos gods. Imagine like Satan.
That's okay. Yeah, we learned about that one. There were only 3 in the beginning, but then the Eldar, they were so bad, and like they killed so many people that they made this one, which is the god of like horny.
And 3 other Satans. The warp.
Yeah.
Kind of evil. Those chaos gods. That's the reason. And so those chaos gods manipulated Horus. And then Horus helped manipulate all 8 other Primarchs to lead this giant coup directly on the Emperor.
I thought, by the way, I only thought it was one of the sons. Only one of the Primarchs, which is evil. No, it's half of them.
And they fucked up shit. After this huge civil war, Horus
That's so
died,
cool.
but not before brutally wounding the Emperor, and right at the end of his life, they put the Emperor on this large golden throne on Earth, in which he is now alive, just barely, but slowly rotting away.
Angron has tubes in his brain to make him homicidally angry.
And is fed
That's
1,000
awesome.
a day.
Yeah, 1,000 people a day. Jesus.
If you want to do interstellar travel in 40k, you need to pass through that
The warp,
demonic
yeah.
warp I mentioned earlier. But how do you know where you're going? Well, the Emperor is there putting a nice little navigator right there. He helps navigate you to know where you're going. If you want to go from Earth to some crazy solar system across the way, you need to go through that warp, and then you need to know where you're going, go through there, and pop your way out. It's like doing nether travel in Minecraft, so you can shorten the distance between going to areas. So long as the Emperor is alive and being...
Yeah, so he basically functions as like a North Star. That's why they need to keep him alive, so that he doesn't like, so that if he dies, the humans can't travel, can't use like interstellar travel, which is a bad thing apparently.
1,000 people a
You know, maybe we should just stay on Earth, you know?
The moment he dies...
Hello, monster, hello.
Interstellar travel's gone for all of humanity. You're so
God Emperor, save the
Before
God
heresy
Emperor.
10,000 years ago, the Imperium has fallen from grace substantially.
Mm-hmm.
All technology has started to dwindle and die. There is now giant fundamental religious extremists that now believe the Emperor of Mankind was a deity, a true living god, which is probably the last thing the Emperor would have wanted to be remembered for. So now you have this thing...
Yeah, they said that in the he said that in his last video as well.
Church entirely devoted to spreading the good word of...
The tubes are called butcher's nails. If he's not super mega pissed off, he feels intense pain. What? That's cool. That's actually kind of cool. That's edgy. Internet's bad. Goodbye. Bye, monster. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks, man.
The Emperor. He is now the Holy Emperor God. The God Emperor.
The God Emperor.
And all of the Imperium has taken up worshiping him to the fullest extent and killing anything that isn't humanity in his name. The Imperium has this futuristic gothic
That's so
tone to it.
cool.
Hefty religion.
Alien dies.
Zealotry to them. If you think anything against the Emperor, that's heresy and you deserve to die. That is called being a heretic. Heretics die in 40k. There is no such thing as freedom of religion. There is no such thing.
Local heretic being punished.
You are against the Emperor. There is no such thing as any kind of tolerance. Everyone is a religious zealot. Some...
Just wait till we dive into the Chaos Primarchs. Angron's lore is crazy. Oh, I bet.
Good word. So right now...
I'm looking forward to it.
Humanity is trying to expand their empire across the stars. If you are a heretic, someone who doesn't believe in the Emperor, you are deserving of death. If you believe in the Chaos Gods, you are also a
deserving of death.
If
yes.
you are an alien race of any kind,
that has nothing to do with anything in the story so far. You're bad. You deserve to die.
Xenos, and you deserve death as well.
Yeah.
So long as the murder continues and humanity expands, the Imperium of Man is very, very happy. However, the largest fighting force of this Imperium is my personal favorite faction, and the first faction we will discuss,
The Space Marines. Oh.
Or also known as the Imperial Guard.
Space Marine, no. Imperial Guard.
The Imperial Guard is the main fighting force of the Imperium, and in a world of horrifying creatures, galactic monstrosities, the literal demons themselves breaking through the fabric of time to kill you, the Imperial Guard are untold billions of regular men and women wearing modern day like flak armor with a laser rifle. This is the
What? The las
main
gun.
weapon of the Imperial Guard. It fires superheated plasma lasers at an extremely fast fire.
Dude. Innocence proves nothing. If you're branded a heretic, you will feel the Space King's wrath.
Never jams. It can blow off limbs, giant holes in concrete. It is overall an extremely devastating weapon.
And it does nothing.
Modern day.
Yeah.
It is one of the weakest in the 40k universe. Yeah.
It's jokingly referenced as a flashlight. Is that what that said? That's crazy.
One of the weakest weapons.
That's insane.
That's what we're in right now. But who cares? Because the Imperial Guard has, in each battle, 500,000 of these men and women. 30,000 large armored tanks, 10,000 artillery batteries. The Imperial
that's
Guard
so cool.
sheer numbers and firepower. They kind of have this World War I, World War II style aesthetic with legions of guardsmen as well as high company commanders and generals on the field along with them, and multiple kinds of troops. A normal Imperial Guard battle starts off with artillery, long lines of artillery, cracking
that look awesome
of the planet underneath the enemy's feet. And as this barrage continues, hundreds of thousands of guardsmen, a sea of guardsmen surges forward, firing and charging at everything possible while the planet rumbles as tanks roll up behind them. Gunships block out the sun and tanks block out the dirt with the steps and hoof prints of millions of guardsmen. It is through numbers and sheer sundering firepower. They're the first and last line of defense for the Imperium and make up a huge bulk of the battles. The Imperial Guard is also made up of
That's so cool.
The Catachan jungle fighters live in a death world.
Rambo? Really?
Almost any firefight they'll ever get into. So they just have this steroid-looking, giant knife, Rambo Predator-looking sons of bitches, where nothing is anywhere near as scary as a simple knight on their home planet. You have the Valhallan Winter Soldiers who haven't felt their toes in 300 years, the Mordian Iron Guard, who are more...
there is nothing we can do? No, this guy said there is a lot of things we can do. Pulls out laser gun.
Than actually fighting a battle. And then, of course, the big one, the Cadians from Cadia.
What happened to Cadia?
The biggest export of guardsmen in the entirety of the Imperium. You will fire your first gun at 5. You will disassemble and reassemble it at 10. You will have pounding artillery drills
at
day
5.
in, day out at 15, and you'll fight your first Swarm Lord at 16. And if you mention
That's
Cadia,
so cool.
Into an unrelenting amount of tears and sadness like I do daily. To quote, I have at my command an entire battle group of the Imperial Guard, 50 regiments including specialized drop troops, stealthers, mechanized formations, armored companies, combat engineers, and mobile artillery. Over 500,000 fighting men and 30,000 tanks and artillery pieces are mine to command. Emperor, show mercy to the fool that stands against me, for I shall not. The Imperial Guard,
that's so cool.
In 40k. They're the army I collect the most, the ones I enjoy playing the most, and the one I enjoy in the lore sense a lot. There's something about just a regular man with a laser rifle being told to charge the horrors of this universe.
Yeah.
Willingly doing so for his god emperor. It's just...
It's awesome.
They actually
poetic.
The main Imperial Guard tactics pretty well. Large amounts of artillery that doesn't require a line of sight, lots of tanks, tons of infantry, drop troops, and
That's
Overall,
that looks so good. I want to buy some of these.
A little bit expensive to collect, unfortunately, and they don't hit a lot. They have a bit of a bad aim, but you don't really care because you're just drowning them in shots. However, if you want more accurate fire and specialization, we can move on
to the Space Marines.
Space Marines.
Oh, there we go. Oh, the Angels of Death.
The Angels of Death are up next. Space Marines are genetically engineered super soldiers.
Wait, is it the Space Marines or not?
They're given extra organs. Their skin tissue is toughened. Their bones are stronger. They're taller than the average person. They're pretty massive people. And these are the specialized super soldiers that carry out a lot of the more specific tasks for the Imperium. And there's tons of legions of them. In fact, there's one per Primarch. Each Primarch, the Emperor's son, as I mentioned before, oversees their legion of Space Marines. The genetic upgrade they get is based on the genes of said Primarch. It's something called a gene sequence.
Oh.
This like superhuman level.
So they get buffs depending on their skill tree. I see.
Stated each Primarch has their own legion. Robot Girly Man has the Ultramarines.
Girly Man
has the White Scars. Rogel Dorn has the Imperial Fists. Corvus Corax has the Raven Guard. And there's a whole bunch of other sides.
Iron Hands, World Eaters, Ultramarines, Death Guard,
which we will discuss in a bit. Humorously enough, I don't have a whole lot to say about Space Marines. They're superhumanly fast. In fact, it's been said that nothing that large should move that quick. These men in power armor moving at blazing fast speeds. Their reflexes are fast.
Yeah, it looks like the power armor from Fallout.
Soldiers. In fact, where they differ comes down to which Space Marine Legion we're talking about. For instance, the Ultramarines done by Robot Gilliman are the main blue boys. Strong and almost
the main blue boys.
The jack of all trades kind of group that are a little bit too strong, and that's a lore problem, but the
whatever.
Jagatai Khan are all about speed freaks, go fast. We're talking attack bikes, we're talking land
that looks
speeders.
awesome.
You want to go in quick, you want to hit them hard, you want them to be swarming around like buzzflies. Buzzsaws. With the speed of buzzsaws. Fuck
the
you,
Thinker.
King.
Me too. Oh yeah, for real.
Fire in the forge, fire in battle. Flamers, melta-guns, multi-meltas. Just so long as something can be burning, that's big. And they're also actually some of the nicest of the Space Marines. A lot of Space Marines have this
I thought they were villains.
Than thou thing because of their genetic strength. However, the Salamanders tend to put human lives above the lives of themselves, which is actually rather rare. They're also all black, but not like just regular black, like 2 a.m. line at a White Castle black. Like they have a charcoal, dark, ashy exterior and
okay, but that looks cool.
Eyes. Apparently something about living on their home planet of Nocturne, which I don't know if that makes much sense, but who cares? This is like fantasy land anyway.
Yeah.
Overall, Salamanders are actually one of my personal favorite legions because they're just really cool. They're fun to
They are
play
cool.
with all their flamer weapons, and they have a nice, like, more heartwarming lore as opposed to being super evil like everyone else is. Oh my god, we're not even a quarter of the way through the Space Marine legions. Imperial Fists believe in the power of the siege and defensive positions.
The siege?
Master of stealth and sabotage while having bird helmets. Iron Hands.
They look awesome. They look like the helmet. They look like the Bloodhound helmet from Elden Ring. I think that's what it's called. It's a boss. It's a mini boss.
Being sold on eBay after one nerf. Space wolves, Vikings, and wolves, and tons of wolves, and axes, battle axes, fur everywhere. Space wolves, angry, big.
They also look cool.
Blood angels, the genetic defect to make them want to drink blood and go crazy, called the Red Thirst. They have
the Red Thirst.
It's a little bit strange, and they are all super gay for Sanguinius. Dark Angel.
Me too. I don't know who that is.
Inner Circle theme and.
Huh?
Are you a heretic?
Me? No, never. Once in a blue moon, I know.
Death Watch, a fancy anti-Xenos group that nobody plays because Death Watch, and they look cool though, but no one.
They look cool.
I don't know about Death Watch. They're there though. Black.
They are there.
For the people who, if you haven't prayed at least 3 times a day, you're gonna start praying out that airlock, and I'm sure there are chapters I may have missed as well, like Crimson Fist and stuff, but those are the main ones right here. Here. Quote from the
another one.
Himself. They shall be my finest warriors, these men who give of themselves to me. Like clay I shall mold them, and in the furnace of war I shall forge them. They shall be of iron will and steely
sick.
steel. In great armor I shall clad them, and with the mightiest weapons shall they be armed. They
That
will
is
be
so
untouched by
cool.
plague or disease, no sickness shall
Hello, here we go.
They shall have such tactics, strategies, and machines that no foe will best them in battle. They are my bulwark against the terror. They are my defenders of humanity. They are my space marines, and they shall know no fear. And on the tabletop, they fuck. Oh, they fuck hard. As of making this video, Space Marines are laughably strong. That might change at some point, but overall, Space Marines just have it's like a Swiss Army knife. A tool for anything you need, except it's like a gold-plated Swiss Army knife. It is extremely strong. If you were
what?
the tabletop of Warhammer,
that's so cool.
Great start. Also, whatever gameplay style you have, whether you want to be sit back with long range and heavy weaponry, go fast and run in.
I want to get into like the actual tabletop Warhammer game because it looks so cool,
melee,
but I know nothing about it.
totally there for you. Space Marines are super badass. But unfortunately, it's time we start praying to our new god, the 2011 Honda Civic.
So is it any wonder
What?
people are afraid of technology?
Technology.
The
That's just such an old clip.
Mechanicus. The Adeptus Mechanicus are a technophile cult on Mars. Now, these people are a little bit weird because they actually really believe in the Emperor of Mankind. And you might think, oh, whoa,
that's heretic.
That sounds like some heresy.
Yeah.
A little bit. They believe in the Emperor, they believe in his power, but they don't pray to him. They pray to something called the Omnissiah. And the Omnissiah is this kind of machine god that they believe permeates in all machines.
So they're heretics.
You think, well, wait a minute. They believe in a different god as well? That sounds like super heresy. Well, yes-ish. But
yes-ish.
they also make all your guns. And they make everything that you have.
So we can't
really
kill
tell
them.
The fuck off? Because you're not gonna win nothing if you don't got stuff to shoot people with. See, their Omnissiah at least makes sense from their standpoint. They believe it to be a deity that permeates through all machines. Your Honda Civic, your standard bolt gun, your Dune Strider Walker, your giant mechs, your huge ships. The Omnissiah is present through all. And the only reason your stuff works
is because of him.
The machine's spirit in it says it works. If you want your gun to work, your tank to run, you must pray to it. Full stop. You need to start chanting in high Gothic. You need to burn incense. You need to sit on your knees and pray to that car.
To that
car. On your robes, and you need to go, full stop. If you want your damn thing to work, if you want your gun to fire, you need to do that. They are very
sick.
Bizarre, and
they are weird.
A bit of a point because it's obviously working. And if you look at them, I don't know how that works. So
but it looks sick.
What they're doing. The most notable member of the Adeptus Mechanicus is Magos, whatever, Belisarius Call. Look at this dude. Look at this dude. Yeah. That's the group we're talking about. These are these weirdos. Here, the Omnissian Creed. The credo.
Creed.
Omnissiah. There is no truth in flesh, only betrayal. There is no strength in flesh, only weakness. There is no constancy in flesh, only decay. There is no certainty in flesh, but death. Flesh is weakness, flesh is death. The Omnissiah is the god of the machines, and if you wish to be whole, if you wish to be holy, if you wish to give unto him, you must saw down your limbs and remove your organs and replace them with mechanical parts.
Excuse me? I don't want to do that. That hurts though. I don't want to do that.
Once, and that is how
What if I don't do that? Am I considered a heretic?
Enlightened. Hard technophiles mixed with religious extremism. Adeptus Mechanicus. Now, for their army side of things,
That's sick.
are with the Sectari. The Scutari operate with very
Scutari.
bizarre weaponry and lots of different kinds of
It
vehicles.
looked like the what is it? What are those like desert people from that one planet in Star Wars? The ones with the orange eyes.
Different people.
I forget their names.
They're very weird, but they have extremely wacky and enjoyable, and in fact quite effective, both in the real game and in the lore, weaponry and gear. Overall, as an army on the tabletop, they're very weird. And
They look awesome though.
Shenanigans. But if you like kind of that quirky, wacky techno thing, I'd give them a pickup. Hell, they're so paranoid. I gotta keep going. They're so paranoid and crazy. These Dune Striders you see right here, one guy was able to make them work. One guy, and he died. And they're so
And he died.
they'll never work again, that they keep them on and they never turn them off, and they run around in a circle the whole time until they need them, and then they corral it and they go to battle. Yep. The Adeptus Mechanicus. Now, if you want to talk
That's it. That's so cool though.
let's talk about the Sisters of Battle.
The Sisters of Battle?
The
Me
Sisters
too.
of Battle of the Adeptus Sororitas,
Adepta.
if that's how I pronounce it correctly, is an all-female
They look sick.
battle sisters
Smash.
going through the ecclesiarchy section of the Imperium. The ecclesiarchy is, of course, the church. This is, imagine a private army of the church, which is scary.
Private
It's
army of the
are
church.
Extremely zealotous force, and they take this to a full extreme. They believe in three main things: faith, martyrdom, and fire. Through the bolter, the flamer, and the melta, the Sisters of Battle are extremely potent at taking out chaos and heretics. Mainly heretics, because
Mainly
they are a
heretics.
fighting section of the ecclesiarchy church. That's the big thing they want to kill. Any form of heretic.
This is so cool. This is so cool.
Weapons,
I love their design so much. The armor that they're wearing is actually kind of fire.
Flamer and the melta, and they will do so with extreme prejudice. Literally. They are the closest things we have to nuns in space. And I'm talking
Nuns in space.
They carry holy fire on their backs. They have holy books and sigils all across their armor. Their main battle tank is a fucking pipe organ missile launcher. They have
That's
small
the coolest
babies
thing I've ever
that
seen.
They have removed their brain capacity to make them little servant cherubs to fly around and give them ammunition and shit. They
What?
drop churches from low orbit as mini drop pods onto battles. They drop churches.
They drop
into
churches.
battles, and they blare war hymns and holy music from their frigates in low atmosphere and shower holy water across the battlefield. These are the people you are dealing with, and they're fucking awesome. They can literally...
Okay, first off, hello, Janus. Second, if I ever pick up Warhammer to like the tabletop game, this is the faction that I'm picking. There is no doubt in my mind. Either this or the Space Marines. Either this one or the Space Marines. But absolutely this one. If I have a choice, Sisters of Battle. That is so cool. This is so cool. This is so cool.
Stave off demons on the tabletop because their faith is that strong. Remember the warp, the demons from the warp? Well, the warp also manifests in your mind. All of your emotions, negative and positive, go through the warp. It's the immaterium, the place of all things. So
This
if you
is
are that
sick.
mentally fortified, that mentally strong, you can stave off horrifying demons. And all these girls, oh, not a crack. Not a crack in that mental armor.
That is so sick.
As they are,
Out of context, but it feels weird seeing my name at the end of the video as a channel member. Never had that happen to me before. Well, I mean, thank you. Well, like, because like, I mean, you are a member, so like, you need to be there. Thank you for that, by the way.
And as much as their models look a lot like Ongo Gabloglian, yeah,
What?
unsee anymore. I gotta say, I love their design.
They look.
Extremely cool.
That's what I'm saying.
They just released a whole new line of figures.
Look at that,
And they
dude.
look wonderful. Everything from Celestine, the living, literally undying saint, from the triumph of Saint Catherine, which is literally a funeral procession as a model. Those tanks I mentioned earlier. This shit is the most over-the-top badassery in a lot of the Warhammer universe, and goddamn, is it over the top. But
it is.
Sisters of Battle are so
sick.
Cool. While I'm a guardsman at heart, this is such a cool faction. By Bolter Shell,
a quote.
and Melta Blast, the mutant, the heretic, and the traitor alike are cleansed of their sin of existence.
Of their sin of existence.
So shall it be until the end of time. And
dude,
of burning demons.
I can see.
The Grey Knights.
The Grey Knights are the first army I actually collected back in 7th edition. The Grey Knights
They also look really cool. Not as cool as the Sisters of Battle though.
Power armored knights, except they are all psychers. All of them have that
they all
crazy
have magics.
magic magician shit. For every 100,000 guardsmen, there's one Grey Knight. For every 10,000 Sisters of Battle, there's one Grey Knight. For every 1,000 Space Marines, there's one Grey Knight. Grey Knights are the strongest of the strong, both in mental will and absolute just strength.
Shakespeare himself was quaking in his boots when he heard that quote.
All of them able to specifically do
Shakespeare could never.
And that is kill demons. The Emperor believed that the demons of chaos were the #1 threat to the Imperium, and he is right. However, this group is entirely based on doing that through a myriad of tactics. Coming from the planet, or I guess the moon of
Titan.
In the
That's from Destiny 2.
The Grey Knights are thrown through
I know it's a real
extremely
moon.
rigorous
Don't worry.
training and are as clear of mind and soul as they possibly can be. Since the demons of the warp are the warp and your mind projects to the warp, people can go insane very fast, especially lower level psychers. These Grey Knights need to be able to
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
the presence of demons and stay perfectly sane. One of their characters when
They're just locked in. That's what it's called, Bricky, okay? We have a slang for that. It's called locked TF-in.
Characters is named Castellan Crow. He has a demon blade, the black blade of Mahamahama. And he has to have it on him because it tempts everyone nearby, constantly beckoning them. Use my power, use my strength, suck my penis, whatever the possibility. And so he has to keep it on him all the time as this thing whispers to him consistently, and he has to
Can't he just throw it away?
forever, being alone in his chambers or on the battlefield, because anyone who gets too close to it might be tempted a little too pure of heart and mind, and all the characters in the Grey Knights are basically like that. The only issue is that the Grey Knights have a scorched earth pulse.
Just like Demo Man with his sword. It's with the sword. It doesn't remind me of him, yeah.
Demons corrupt and make people
Pretty
crazy.
much.
So if I'm a guardsman and I'm fighting demons and the
The interesting features.
and they kill all the demons, I'm a risk. And so guess who's not making it out of there? On the table,
That's interspecies reviewers.
They teleport all around the place. They are fast strike groups, small amounts of models.
They also look
because
really
they're so
cool,
dang
by the way.
strong. You only have so many characters, but with it, you get in there. You're very tough, very tanky. You hit really hard.
Banger taste in anime. I remember when that released. I unironically watched it because I thought it was really funny.
Bounce around the battlefield quickly, but you don't have numbers. And
It was and be honest, it was funny.
It's really damn hard. They're fun though if you like that kind of fast.
There was no other reason to watch it.
Also, Caldor Drago is a thing. We're not even gonna get into Caldor Drago. All
Who's
right,
Caldor Drago?
Oh my goodness gracious.
Who's
I
Draco?
am the hammer. I am the mail about his fist. I am the spear in his hand. Though we are lost, I am the shield on his arm. I am the flight of his arrows. I am the hammer.
I am the
sword.
hammer.
I am the shield. I am a soldier at the battle at the end of time. Grey Knights are pretty hardcore.
All of these quotes are so cool.
If you like Space Marines and you want to, that they're holy enough, you want to be holier, Grey Knights.
You want to be holier.
Holier and big. Let's talk Imperial Knights.
Oh Lord, he coming!
Do you
Oh,
like
loud.
gigantic walkers the size of homes?
Yes.
Medium-sized buildings? Do you want to kill heretics, but you want to kill like 40 of them per turn? Do you want a gigantic
Dude, look.
noble house style of walker?
So far, this is the second coolest faction.
With giant chainsaws?
Just from like these
Imperial
screenshots.
Knights, not a whole lot to talk about them because they're just gigantic walkers, but they have this old school like house feel to them, like literally like they're houses.
Yeah, a little bit. Like
Imperial Knight
mechas.
comes from a house, and each of them act in their own special way. These behemoth of walkers also destroy almost everything in their path. Killing
Whoa, what is that thing?
squads in a couple
Is that an
shots,
alien?
stepping on legions of troops. Like, these things do not mess around, and they look so cool.
They
Imperial
do.
Knights
They
and
really
Chaos
look
Knights,
so
don't have
awesome.
a whole lot to discuss. They're just super big, heavy walkers, and they look different depending on your house or chaos that you currently believe in.
I like the red
And
ones. And
overall,
the blue and the red ones.
cool if you want to murder everything in your path. They're the big, scary, big unit of Warhammer, and if you want to collect them, go to town. They make for a great painting project too. Getting more back down to earth. Let's talk.
Are they
something a
that
little
big
bit,
as
a
well?
little bit different, a little more gold.
Gold.
If guardsmen are regular soldiers,
The pants that
are
he's
super
using.
soldiers. Grey Knights are super soldiers. The Adeptus Custodes are super soldiers cubed. The Adeptus Custodes are
Cubed.
the third major army I own. I know, 3 armies. I know, I got carried away, okay? But that's all. I only have 3, okay? They are our final brand of Space Marines, but these ones are super special. Okay.
Are they?
If a guardsman is 6 foot, a space marine is 7 feet, a custodian is 8 feet. These are the giant defenders of Holy Terra, which is also Earth. Earth is Terra. Themselves. These are the people that literally guard the Emperor's throne room. Hence, Custodes. These boys protect the Emperor's throne room at all times.
So they're the
They are
MVPs.
literally like handcrafted people. They're not humans brought up by a gene seer or something. These are all handcrafted super. I think
Handcrafted.
from a tube. These behemoth of men are like 8 feet, 8.5 feet tall, and functionally immortal. They stand still,
Immortal?
hand for hundreds of years without the need to sleep and barely even the need to eat, watching over the throne room and every other area of Holy Terra for their entire purpose in life. And
Dude.
are they terrifying? These
They
custodians
look
face
terrifying.
shame. If you liked your super soldiers, these are your super mega soldiers.
Super mega soldiers.
Take on probably 3 space marines and most likely win. There are many different groups
Dude.
as well, like the Solar Watch, or there's also one of my personal favorites.
The thing they didn't mention is that inside the Imperium Knights has a human soldier that has a battle scarred, that has been battle scarred beyond recognition. So as a way to carry out their duty, they insert their body and mind into the armor and live as a walking menace. What? That's so cool.
Shield.
That's so cool.
To seemingly unimportant individuals and
Hello, Underbro. Hello. Welcome. We're watching every single Warhammer faction explained.
A regular guardsman gets the protection of this giant.
You got like
alien
10 more
golden
minutes, give or take.
god, because that guardsman will end up becoming
A little bit more,
general
15,
one day
give or take.
something of that nature. The custodians work in mysterious ways and are almost always outnumbered, but never outmatched. These
Never outmatched.
pretty horrifying.
That thing back there looks awesome, by the way.
As well as in the lore. There are very few of them, however.
Imperium Knights are just mechas for the disabled.
Amount of them. But that's kind of the point. There's only so many of these people that can have war gear this strong, weapons this powerful, and training this good. And the custodians have all 3 of it. For 100 years, I stood my watch amidst the somber shadows of the Sanctum Imperialis. I was still
Sanctum
as a statue, but
Imperialis.
always ready, always attuned to dangers unseen. Days, months, years passed by in a frenzied blur beyond those walls, yet within, little moved and nothing changed. For 100 years, I did not but wait, yet had any threat appeared, I would have struck it down in a heartbeat. For 100 years, I stood my watch, and as it ends, I can tell you this: patience is a weapon. The custodians
That is such a cool
Imperial,
line.
and they hurt just that same way. Though I do want to discuss a little bit about the Sisters of Silence before we
Sisters of
get out of here.
Silence.
The Sisters of Silence I also have a few of, and they're really fun, but they don't get enough attention. These kind of bald plume
Kind of
ladies
bald.
are a whole group of pariahs, or also known as blanks. We'll be referring to them as blanks from now on. So as every mind is somewhat connected to the
Okay.
dwarf, these blanks are a genetic mutation that has it suppressed heavily. Because of that mind suppression, normal people feel this weird, like, uncomfortable nature when around them. When a Sister of Silence walks past them, you feel ill. You feel just uncomfortable, strange. So most of them don't actually live past childhood, because once they are birthed, they're, well, you know, killed or something at a very young age, because they just emit a horrifying aura. These ladies have
The aura.
Custodians of the throne as well for more psychic threats. See, none of the custodians are psychers. They have a difficult time dealing with major demons and other kinds of psychic phenomena. These sisters are extremely specialized in it. All of them taking a vow.
They do just have that aura. It's crazy.
Terms such as the silence, but they communicate through hand gestures and things of that nature. But if there's
Sign
a
language.
demon issue, if there's any kind of warp-based problem, the sisters are extremely adept at dealing with them, thanks to their blank gene. They normally work a lot of time with the custodians.
Oh, that makes sense.
Threats, but they're not represented that way on the tabletop. In fact, they only have like one real model for them, which is very unfortunate. I hope they'll get some like news soon, because I think they should really be working together.
No, give me more Sisters of Battle.
But hopefully we'll get there soon. But if we're talking about blanks, let's talk assassins.
Assassins?
It's been a long video. We're about to round it out. We got this and one more human thing, and then we're done. The assassins.
One more human thing.
Officio Assassinorum. Oh boy, these people are deadly. Yeah, they're called assassins. They should be, but oh man, these people will mess you up. So these are from the Officio Assassinorum, a very special organization, and they are handpicked.
The Brotherhood of.
Officio Assassinorum.
What was it called? The Brotherhood of Darkness? From Skyrim?
What's it called? Scola Progenium. It's basically an orphan school. Your parents got murdered by demons or something. You get sent to this, and you get trained to be whatever. Tempest's drop troop, an inquisitor, maybe even. Maybe
she looks awesome.
Gene, and you get thrown into the Sisters of Silence, or sometimes you just disappear. When you are taken,
you just disappear. Cool.
4 temples, because the Assassinorum.
Dark Brotherhood. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
These temples
Thank
are
you.
Vindicare, Caluxus, Calidus, and Eversor temples. We'll start with the Vindicare.
Yeah, from Skyrim, yeah.
Far away. I've been sitting here for 3 weeks.
I love their side quest, by the way.
Poof! The Vindicare
For
temple
3
is the
weeks.
main sniper-based temple. Gigantic sniper rifles for all these assassins. Their whole point is to be able to be in a spot and sit there, eye and scope, for weeks, waiting for their target, taking people out from literal miles away after extremely long time periods. The Vindicare Temple is about precise, perfect aim. There have been reports of Vindicares being able to single out particular body parts from over 2-3 miles away. Temples in the head, jugular, for instance, and been sitting there after weeks. And when they're ready, take that shot, time is done, packs them up. The Calidus Temple, however, is
smash.
a lot more about shape-shifting and deviant art. It's
Deviant art.
One, or at least it seems to be, and this allows a lot of body augmentation for certain individuals to be able to kind of transmorph themselves and infiltrate areas that are problems. These assassins will
but they do look really cool.
2-3 years to infiltrate a heretical group and slowly work their way up, just to get enough time to put.
Reminiscent about the Dark Brotherhood. Cicero was weird. Was a weird IMFer. Also, we had to hide inside the coffin with the dead mother. True. Yeah, we did that. Yeah. I actually recently played through Skyrim again a few weeks ago, and I did all of the Dark Brotherhood in like one setting. And I like remembered. Oh yeah, we get in the coffin with the dead person. That's cool.
To the main target's head and then escape unharmed, or become the main target and sabotage it from within. These are all
What?
completely about deception, mind tricks, polymorphing, and everything in between, and lots of drawings.
Lots of
The
drawings.
Eversor Temple. Just kind of disturbing one. The Eversor Temple is about when you don't want anything to come back alive, friend or foe. You want it all dead. An Eversor is psychogenically conditioned with just psychotherapy and psychological torture to only feel violence, hatred, and anger. It does the Clockwork Orange style of thing of just making you forced to watch never-ending pain and misery and psycho conditioning.
That is awful.
And then they pump you full of tons of psychedelic drugs and they cryo freeze you. And then they
What?
put you in an area where they just want to make sure everything is dead. And then you defrost full of just all this insane, mind-boggling psychotherapy and psychedelic drugs, and you just go to town.
What?
If anyone comes back alive, you're like, all right, lost cause, send them in. Finally, there's
Send them in.
temple, the Caluxus Temple. The Caluxus assassins are feared even among the other temples. So that blank gene, the people will go to the Caluxus Temple with this as well. And this is where they can harness that to be massively anti-psyker or even just anti-regular people. They're seen with
Anti-regular
fear
people.
and distrust among many, many people. They are described by the Eldar, by quote, as being
The Eldar.
evil. Imagine that uncomfortable feeling from that blank gene I mentioned, and then imagine them being taught and given equipment to amplify it by 100. If normally
Dude.
people feel uncomfortable, now they are basically akin to being a siren wailing directly in your ear. And if you're a psyker, oh no, the sheer
Oh no.
of a Caluxus
Literally using a psychedelics as a prep meal.
skin off, you will rather
What?
your eyes out and rip your nails off than even being near this person. The Caluxus assassin is when you want psychers to literally lose their minds, and they will go on their knees and ask you to gun them down because it is a suitable choice over being anywhere near you. The motto of that
What?
is, that which is unknown and unseen commands the greatest fear. Now, for the tabletop, assassins aren't that special. You can call them in no matter what Imperium faction you are, and they do a lot of work.
They
for
do look
themselves,
really
but at the same
cool,
time,
though.
They're very specialized and require a lot of finesse. And they work the way you generally want them to, though. You want to cause some distortion and weird stuff, you take a Calvus. You want to just murder swaths of infantry and then blow up Eversor. You want to kill that one guy, Vindicare, and if you have a lot of psychers, Caluxus. It's a nice little, like, jack of all trades if you have a specific thing you want to kill. And you get to choose which is really fun. But now, let's talk about the last human faction.
The last
We close this
one.
video out before we do part 2.
Oh,
Inquisition.
the
We have a lot
Inquisition.
to talk about with them.
Oh no.
Oh boy. Where do I even begin with the Inquisition? Take every secret police you can think of. The
CIA.
KGB, the
Oh.
Gestapo, the
CIA.
FBI,
Yeah,
any of these kinds of people. And then mark it up by about 10 and give them the most power in the entire Imperium.
What?
How about this? This right here, it's not just a quote. This is the imperial motto, the motto of the Inquisition.
The motto of the.
My bad pronunciation.
Oh.
Innocentia nihil probat. Innocence proves nothing. The most powerful organization,
What?
the secret police, their number one motto is innocence proves nothing. The Inquisition goes
Cool.
like the secret police or like detectives to find issues in the Imperium.
She looks like a Bloodborne character from the future.
We're talking about the Ordo Hereticus, the Ordo Xenos, the Ordo Malleus, for instance, and a whole bunch of other ones. Hereticus is obvious; they deal with heretics. Xenos tries to find alien threats, and Malleus is demons. They all have different specializations in what they're trying to go for as this Inquisitor, and that's what they're called, Inquisitors. Each of them,
Inquisitors.
as an Inquisitor, has their own free reign to do as they wish. They may have a ship and a crew, and they go out to find problems and interrogate people. lot.
A lot.
They are above the law in every department over Space Marines. Now, the Space Marines might argue against them and stuff, and there might be a lot of blowback, but technically they are above them as Inquisitors.
What?
Investigate and figure
That's
out
crazy. That's so cool. I've said that so many times in this video, but there's nothing else to say. It's just really cool.
They're about learning that stuff and actually doing detective work. And memes aside, they're pretty good at it. The Inquisition having all of this power does make them a little bit power hungry and frantic sometimes. And yes, it is still a bad thing, but most of them are pretty good at their job. And they spend a lot of time being very diligent.
Innocence proves nothing is a great motto, but not great if someone adopts it IRL. Yeah, probably not great IRL, but it sounds cool. It sounds really cool.
Sure that all of these leads they follow are proper and correct. They're basically space detectives with just enormous power and sometimes a bit of a power complex. And we haven't even talked about Exterminatus yet. Exterminatus is deeming a planet unfit to be saved. I deem that this planet is demon infested and taking it back will cost too many resources and is not worth it. I have now committed Exterminatus on this planet. I will now sign the death warrant of an entire Imperium planet as it is unfit to take and better to be destroyed than allow the enemy to hold it. This can mean saturation bombardment. This can mean cracking the planet's core, breaking it apart. Doesn't matter. Render this planet inhospitable to all life. Yes, the innocents proves nothing people are the only people who can choose this planet must die in its entirety.
Whoa.
Yeah, you're playing the villain. Now,
you're playing the villain.
Most Inquisitors are very rare to do Exterminatus. Exterminatus is a very crazy thing. There's only so many worlds that you don't want to destroy all of them.
I just do it for fun, for real.
Naturally, with the memes aside, there are some,
you know, I want to do it at least once.
Rough on this one.
What?
But most Inquisitors generally don't like to do Exterminatus a ton, but it is an option they have. And it's a crazy option when you think about it. Secret Police Inquisition are unfortunately not represented on the tabletop very much. You generally kind of put one in your army if you feel like it. You have a couple special options there and some side content, but they're not really fleshed out very well, and personally they need a lot more stuff put in there, and they really need a lot more effort put into them, and they're not quite where I want them to be. Overall, the Inquisition makes for a lot of the best storytelling as well, because it's a little bit hard to talk about a big story of a whole bunch of Space Marines killing something, right? It's just a big battle story. It's not.
Someone gave me a Warhammer 40k figurine to paint. I would waste my entire day on it. Oh no, yeah, me, same. I would absolutely do that. I've never done it before, and I have no idea what I'd be doing, but I would pick that thing up and I would paint it all day, no questions asked.
Dilemma that an Inquisitor has makes for a lot
all day.
And honestly, the more people do it, I think it's better, because then it adds a little more humanity to the Warhammer horrible, horrible grim darkness. And wow, we just finished the humans. All right, come back.
That was all the humans.
Talk about Chaos and Xenos, because we got to talk about the 4 Chaos Gods and all the Chaos Marine Legions and the Tau and the Necrons and the Orcs and
the Necrons as well.
I'll see you in part 2.
Dude, oh, that was crazy good. That was really good. Yeah, that's part 2. Part 2 is even longer, bro. Dude, that's an hour long, by the way. Holy.